Hello everyone, welcome back to Hitech Motorsport YouTube channel. We've just had F3 testing. This has given us a glimpse of what drivers are going to be in the 2026 cars. Last season, in 2024, only 2 drivers weren't kind of put into the full-time race seat for the start of the season from end of season testing. So more than 95% accuracy this is. So let's get straight into it with Prema. Some of these guys have been confirmed via social media, and they are the guys with the green outlines, whilst the people who have just tested and are not yet confirmed are in the yellow kind of circle around their character. So Prema, they got James Wharton, Enzo Deligny and Louis Sharp. James and Enzo both confirmed via Prema social media, with Louis Sharp looking likely to make the switch over from Roden. James obviously is also coming from another team in F3 after disappointing the year. I think he came around 18th this year, where Louis also disappointing for his team with 26th. Both of these guys had teammates doing better than them, and are looking to kind of jump on the Prema bandwagon. Prema aren't in a good spot, had a rough year. Both Brando and Ugo Chukwu, their 2 rookies, struggled, and so did Noel Leon, but hopefully they can get head around this new regulation going into year 2 of this ground effect cars and provide James, Enzo and Louis with enough opportunities to show their quality. We saw when James came in 2024, he had a great showing for the couple of races that he competed at. I remember especially Silverstone, he was monstrous, but didn't quite show it consistently last year. They'll be hoping to do so with Prema. Enzo Deligny, rookie, coming in from Frecker, so former regional. He's done well. He's currently 3rd. I think he is still in the fight with the championship with Pedro Claro and Louis Slater, so Freddie Slater and someone else. So it's all very exciting for them. So this is a good kind of pickup for Prema, but they'll be hoping to kind of improve their car and their package and their kind of behind the scenes aspect of the team to give these guys the opportunity to exceed, because Prema have dominated F3, F2 over the years. It looks like it's come to an end, or it has come to an end with Invicta, with Trident, with Campos coming to the forefront. So let's do better Prema this year. And next up we have ART Grand Prix with 3 rookies. It's looking like they're going to have 3 rookies for their position, with Magic and Kanato both confirmed via social media. Magic Gladix and Kanato Lee. Magic is coming from Eurocup 3. We've seen a lot more drivers come from this series recently into F3. I think looking at their roster of drivers, the top 10 are all names that I've heard of through the F1 feeder series, so I think he's coming 9th, which isn't great, but he's still very young. I don't know too much about Magic, I won't lie, but I'm excited to see what he can kind of deliver. We've seen guys like Bruno Dapino and stuff come from that series and do well, so let's have a look at what Gladys can do. Taiko Kato is coming from the former regional series. He's coming 9th currently, but as I mentioned before, very competitive series. You have these guys at front who are all coming up to F3 this season, so they'll be continuing that fight onwards. ART also had a rough year last year, didn't have the kind of year they're expecting. Gone of the days of Theo Porcher, but yeah. And then Kanato, similar stuff to Taiko. He is coming from former regional after having a couple seasons there. 18th last year and then 14th this year currently. Still 2 races to go, but yeah, it's probably the one where it's like he probably has the money to come up to F3. He has enough credentials to make it an argument to go up, but he is not a hot prospect by any means, and he'll be looking to forge out a good kind of reputation in his career in F3 next season. He had a few performances in GB3 that were quite good. He only raced like 7 races, but managed to get 14th position in that championship, so that's quite good. We have a couple other drivers from the usual suspects, Roden and Hitech, coming over from that series, so he knows quite a lot of these guys already and knows how they race, so maybe that will prove to be fruitful for him in 2026 with ART. And now Campos is next with Ugo Ugochukwu, Theophile Now, and Ernesto Riviera all confirmed for the next year. This is a very exciting lineup that I've seen. I think we saw last year with Mariboya and Solov and Buzovac that you have two guys who are experienced and have shown that they're quality. And you have another guy who's a bit of a wild card. Last year, Tissot and Buzovac, and then this year it's Riviera. And I mean, Tassanapol, he did a good job of kind of leveraging the experience to improve the car, to get the best kind of window to enable him to race well. I think he came up in top 10 at least last year, so Nesto was looking to kind of leverage the relationship with Ugo and Theophile to improve his standings, whereas Ugo comes in, he was looking like a hot shot. McLaren Jr. coming into the F3 season, American, so a lot of kind of onus on him to do well. But he struggled. I think he came down in like 16th, I think it was, by the end of the year. Yeah, a couple podiums towards the end of the season, but also a couple of DNFs. So mixed bag. But he's with the kind of championship contenders in Campos, both them and Trident, looking to kind of repeat the success they had last year. And Theophile, who came 8th, will also be looking to kind of improve too. You know, I think he was with VAR last year, who had a good year at points. A couple podiums for him as well, 3 podiums for Theophile. So he'll be looking to be the kind of team leader. But I imagine Campos will have a battle on their hands, kind of 1 and 2 with Boya and Solov, with Ugochukwu, and now this year. But I like this lineup. I think it's going to be exciting to see them vital at the front. And next up we have Hitech GP, who've also gone the same route, focusing all rookies, or mostly rookies I guess, with Michael Shin, who has been racing for PHM AIX Racing over the last couple of rounds, and we'll probably finish the round with them. But yeah, I mean, like, it's interesting, and there's a lot of turnover of these drivers. A lot of these drivers probably saying, well, F2 is looking very full at the moment. It's hard to get a seat there. Let's move on somewhere else quickly. A lot of turnover this season, but there is a lot of opportunities for these guys from GB3, from F4, from Frecker to move on up, to even from Euro Cup as well, nowadays. Yeah, Michael Shin, bit of experience in F3, last couple of rounds, has done very poorly, didn't score a point, retired. P17 was his best result, but I mean, this looks like a pay driver in the first instance. I'm always happy to be proven wrong, and I'm going to give Shin the time to prove me wrong, but it's looking like one of those ones. Fionn McLaughlin, very good choice, I think, in my opinion, skipping GB3, and the champion of F4, British F4, is skipping GB3, which is the usual path, and going straight into F3 machinery. I think this is the right call. GB3, I think what we've seen is it does more to hurt you if you don't do well. You know, like we saw Louis Sharp go through there. We saw the other Roden drivers go through there, and it didn't really do much for them. You know, whereas if they had maybe another year in F3 instead, they might have better prospects for the F2, for F1. I think it's just not full of elite talent, that you're just racing against people that don't have much reputation. So the F1, F2 teams, F3 teams come to kind of evaluate you. They take it with a grain of salt. So props to Fionn for kind of skipping that step, but that'll probably mean there's a lot of development that needs to go in the first couple of rounds. He's only 17, still quite young, so good luck to the young Irishman, but it's going to be a struggle stepping up the kind of big jump from F4 to F3 straight away without that kind of middle step with Frecker, GB3, Euro Cup, etc. And then Yin Nakamura, he comes from a Frecker as well. And like I said, a lot of these guys from P1 down to P15 making the jump up, with Yin coming 10th last season. A podium to his name, a lot of points finishes towards the end of the season, so he's on a good trajectory, and hopefully he kind of continues that with Hitech in 2026 in F3. And now we have MP Motorsport, who I think have one of the strongest lineups this season, with 3 drivers confirmed. Tuka Tponen, Mattia Kolnagi, and Alessandro Gusti. Two of these people, Gusti and Tponen, have F3 experience, with Tponen coming 9th and Gusti coming 10th last season. So impressive stuff, you know. Gusti is staying with the team, NP, whereas Tponen's coming over from ART. So both of them will kind of be looking for the championship fight. Both of them, you know, like we saw with Trident last year, like we saw with Campos, two drivers at the front of the field with another driver supporting them, kind of picking up the points here and there for the team to try and get the team championship, while the other drivers fight for the kind of driver championship, you know. So yeah, Tponen, Gusti will probably be up there, top 5 at least in my opinion, whereas Mattia will have kind of a bedding in year. He's been at Euro Cup, winning that championship handedly, but still, it's a bit of a jump, like we saw with Dalpino, etc. Coming over isn't that easy, but it is doable. So hopefully for that season he has some good opportunities to shine alongside his experienced teammates, who are probably going to help him to improve the setup of his car and get some good results. And now we have the VAR team with Jose Casicado Jr., Hiyu Yamakoshi, and Bruno Dalpino. Bruno Pino, we all know as someone who came from Euro Cup through the series and then into F3 last year. He got a podium, but other than that, ultimately struggled and came 23rd overall. So this is going to be a step up for a year, and he's the experienced person in the team now. I mean, I think Casicado has some experience, a couple of rounds last year in the middle of the year for one of the teams that was struggling. I think that was Hitech, with drivers being not able to kind of keep paying for their seat. But still, Dalpino should be the team leader here, should be kind of competing at the points this season, the second season. A lot of rookies in this year, coming from Freca, GB3, other series, so he really should be stepping up and proving that he is the experienced person, the team leader at VAR. Hiyu Yamakoshi is coming from Freca, as we've seen a lot of his drivers from 1 to 15, all making the leap over to fill the void that's been left. He's currently in 8th in the championship, so an alright showing, better than some of the other people that we've seen making the step up. So good luck to him in the VAR. And Jose Casicado, looking through his page, looking through his career, it smells someone who's been good at times, but has also struggled with the finances, you know. Last season he came in for 4 rounds, or no, not 4 rounds, 2 races, or 4 races, so 2 rounds in F3 in Catalonia, in the Red Bull Ring. Didn't score a point, but he definitely improved. So hopefully he can stick around long enough in F3 to show what he's made of, to get a bit more funding and carry on his journey, you know. I never want to see any of these drivers do bad. I'm never spiteful most of the time. Hopefully, if I am, I apologise. But yeah, I feel like looking through his kind of sporadic performances in each series, he needs to kind of build some consistency into his kind of profile rate of our series and get some good results. But yeah, it's a bit of a mismatched team, this one. I'm not sure what to think, really. Yeah, I guess we'll see. I can see this team struggling, honestly. It's because of the different styles the drivers might have coming from all these different series. We got Euro Cup, we got Freca, we got Middle Eastern Championship, we got, yeah, so it's a bit all over the place, but I'm sure eventually they'll get there. Might be a struggle for VAR. And now we have Roden, who have kind of revolutionized their kind of portfolio of drivers, going from 2 drivers with Louis Sharp and Callum Voisin, who'll come through their academy. You know, they'll come through F4, British F4, GB3 into the F3 team, and have gone on to other things. They've thrown that out of the bin. You know, screw that. They've said we're going Brandon Padua, Prema, 25th last year. Didn't do great, but did do good the season before that in Freca. I think he came 5th in his debut season in that series, so hopefully he would kind of refine that magic he had in 2024 and bring it to Roden. Roden, ultimately, with Bielinski, with Voisin, Sharp underperformed. they did very well. So I'm, well, not very well, but like it's better than I thought they were going to do. You know, Roden have traditionally struggled in F3 the last couple of years, so getting some good results here and there, mid-season, end of the season. It looks like a positive trajectory for the British-New Zealand outfit. So Brando will be looking to kind of go in there and reassert himself as a title contender, whereas Christian Ho, coming off the back of winning Euro Cup 2024, came into F3 with high hopes. With Dams Lucas Oil, the new kid on the block, being a debut season for them, for that racing team, and he came 22nd. I think he led his team. I think it was always going to be a struggle for them, so given the circumstances, Christian Ho is impressive. Yeah, and then we have Pedro Claro, currently 4th in FRECA. As I said, a lot of these guys, surprisingly a lot of Asian drivers in the championship, but Pedro, Brazilian, coming in with hoping to kind of adopt the Brazilian crowd that Rafael Camara stirred up last season with his amazing performances, and continued that trajectory. It's nice to have kind of South American influence on the grid, so get in there, Pedro. Hope you do well and continue kind of your streak from FRECA with this Roden team. And next up we have PHM AIX Racing with Brad Benavidez, Fernando Barrichello and Jevan David all set to step up to their F3 team. All kind of, I like to call them team Euro Formula Open, because all three of these drivers have been through or are coming through that series. Brad Benavidez, he used to be in F3 back in 2023, then made a step up to F2 for 2024, ultimately got kicked out halfway through the season for reasons that I'm not sure of, and then went to Euro Formula Open and reinvigorated his career with a championship victory in his debut season. And then he came back as a kind of partial driver this year for AIX. He kind of did some amazing qualifying sessions. I think he came pole a couple times, maybe P2, kind of matching the kind of domination that Kamara's putting on at the start of the season. And yeah, it was good to see. I mean, he didn't get them that many points, but still, for a team that was struggling, he was a very, very light spark, and he'll probably continue that, being the most experienced driver on the grid at 24 years of age. But he's joined with Fernando Barrichello, son of the Barrichello from Formula 1. He's also coming through Euro Formula Open. He came 3rd 2 seasons ago, and this season was coming 6th. There's still a round left. Yeah, and then Jevan David, the first Sri Lankan on the grid, is coming 3rd and also in Euro Formula Open. So they obviously like this series as a gateway, similar to what we've seen with teams and Euro Cup 3. So maybe it'll work out. I guess it worked out for Brad Benavidez, so it might work out for Jevan David and Fernando Barrichello. I mean, I'm here for it. I'm not going to write them off at all. I haven't seen enough of them to do that, apart from Brad Benavidez, who looks very, very fast on his day with a good setup in the car over one lap. But yeah, let's see what they do. PHM always love to throw a wild card in there, and you can love them for the amount of content that you can make over them because of the drivers that they just kind of randomly pick up from here and there. And now we have the new kids, or the kind of their second year, their sophomore year in the grid. It's Dams Lucas Oil, and they've stuck with none of these drivers have been confirmed yet. They've just tested, but I feel like they're kind of doing the thing where they kind of wait around, see who hasn't been asked to the dance yet, and swoop in at the last minute and say, hey, I got some tickets to the dance. Do you want to go with me? So these kind of drivers that might not initially want to be in their seat. But we'll wait and see. For all I know, given the success rate of testing to a seat, all three of these drivers could be confirmed in the near future. So yeah, Nicola Lacourte with the team last year came 29th, I believe. They're 33rd. So 3 drivers came in and did better than him throughout the season. Not great, but then again, Lacourte didn't have a great kind of track record previously with the championships. Yeah, let's move on. Let's go to Gerard Z, who did have a good performance 1 year in Formula Regional Oceania, where he came 7th. Yeah, it's not great. but I guess like he also did GB3 and came 7th too. Last season he came 29th. This is the guy that came 29th, not the court. So yep. And then I thought I had been saved, you know. Entepoo's back. He left the series to go to F2. It's looking like next season. This guy I think tops him for having an even more difficult name to say. So I'm going to give it my best shot. So I apologise if I mess this up completely to all the Thai people out there, but I am trying. Nad Havud Birom Bakadi. That's close enough. He comes in after finishing, or is currently 16th in Freca, so not terrible. Probably a little bit more gravitas than Lecourt and Z with his single-seater career to date. Still not shining like you have with these drivers at these other teams, but Dan's not sure to attract that kind of talent. Like I said, I'm open to see how he does. I'm not going to judge him too early, but Lecourt, Z, didn't have great starts. Dams as a whole team didn't have a great start. Let's see how it goes, but my hopes aren't high, but I'm happy to be wrong. And lastly, we have Trident, the reigning champs, and Stromstead is staying. There's 2 rookies alongside him. You might think, oh, why are they doing that? That's a bit risky. Couldn't they pick up someone maybe a little bit more experience? But these guys are the real deal. Freddie Slater and Matteo Di Polo. Stromstead, let's start with him, the kind of returner. He came 6th last year. I think the best rookie on the grid. Surprising that he's staying in F3 for another year. If I was him, I would be begging for a seat in F2. F3 is a dog-eat-dog series, and your whole world can turn upside down if you have a bad couple of results. So, interesting decision from Mercedes there, his team, to keep him in that series. Maybe it's the right thing. Maybe he can get a championship win and kind of use that momentum to do well in one season in F2 next year, or like 2027. But Freddie Slater, Matteo Di Polo, both of these guys fighting for the championship in the Formula Regional kind of campaign for this year. I think only a couple points splits them. Let's have a look here. Yeah, they're being split by 4 points currently, heading into the final round in Monza. Exciting stuff. For me, Freddie Slater is going to be a big deal. He has done some amazing championship victories. I think he's won the UAE championship. I think he won Italian F4. He's on a hot streak. He's not jumping in too early. He's getting good experience here and there. He's done a lot of races in and out of F3 last year. We all saw him. We all know his potential. This guy looks good, and I think as far as like curating a career can go, he's played it so cool, Freddie. He's not committed to an F1 team. He's not kind of committed to any kind of team. He's played the field and done what's best for him there every step of the way. And it's impressive, you know. Honestly, I think he could be an F1 world champion one day. So watch out for him. And he is a driver that every team would have wanted. They would have probably been offering maybe a seat even for free. Probably not, but this is how much of a big deal he is. Trident have done a coup here getting him in their team. And Matteo Di Polo, similar stuff. He has come second, or looking like he's going to come second to Freddie Slater in Freca this year. He couldn't even come first. But yeah, he's also been on a hot streak. Yeah, his career is very strong. After a kind of rookie season in Freca last in 2024, he improved this season. But before that, he's won or can come 5th in F4 Spanish Championship. But this year's really been his breakout year. But still, he's looking very quick. And I mean, Trident, yeah, this lineup is just strong. I mean, for me, Trident, and then you have MP Motorsport, Campos, and Prema, other teams. Prema probably 4th, like, they're definitely in 4th, but the other top 3, they all have very strong driver lineups, and I can't wait for next season to begin. And if you also can't wait, please like this video and subscribe so that you'll kind of keep on watching and get notified of the content that I put out about F2 and F3 as kind of the best F2 and F3 YouTuber in the space. So yeah, thanks for watching as always. Peace.